Hey, it's 501, week number 8. You've made it. Almost. You've almost made it. So, this week, let's jump right into some logistics, look at the case study, and then the discussion board. And that's really the whole week. Logistics, the course ends Friday at 11:59 p.m. So make sure that your discussion board post and your replies are done by Friday. This is different, not Sunday, Friday. Same with case study number 4, also due, say it with me, Friday. You did not say it with me, but that's okay. We went last night, by the way, to see Mean Girls. Our high school is putting on a play, and we were in downtown San Jose, which is a really cool spot to see the play. And there's another family next to us, and he looks at me and he goes, "Drive home safely." And he's like a cool dude. Like, he played in a band that toured with Jimmy Eat World. He's like, "Drive home safely." And I was just like, whew. I was not planning on driving home safely, and I'm so glad he said something to me now, because now I'll drive home safely. And he was like, that's, laughed out loud, and then he goes, "I'm gonna use that." And really, like, that, like, can you get a better compliment from a fellow dad as a dad joke that a fellow dad will reuse? I think the answer is no. And then meanwhile, my 8th grader goes, "You proud of yourself, Dad?" I was like, yes I am. Why did I share that story? There was a tie-in I just had and I completely lost it. Maybe it's just a one-off story. I guess that happens sometimes. Anyway, it's due Friday night. Everything is due Friday night. Make sure it is due Friday night. Case study number 4. The biggest suggestion I have is to look at the rubric and follow the rubric. There are a few things on there that if you just read the description and do what the description says, you might miss, and I do not want you to get a 0 out of 4 on the rubric for missing an obvious and easy thing. I encourage you to, of all this week, for your pacing, watch Adam Bella's keynote, which is part of the discussion board post. Look at how he does the visuals, at what he does and does not include, how much text is included, how many bullet points he uses, what we are seeing in his keynote. I think he still has the gold standard for what good slide design can look like in education. His keynote was 10 years ago, 12 years ago now. And I don't want to spoil it and give my thoughts, but a fair amount of it is still relevant, which is why we're having you, like, watch it, right? I think the discussion board is like, is it still relevant? I was like, well, yes, because otherwise that would be a colossal waste of time. Seconds before the 1 hour mark, by the way, he gives my class a shout out, which is like super cool. I had no idea what was going to happen. Also, if you are so inclined, when he's sharing some photos of some people, I think I was in there with a photo trying on his Google Glass. Do you remember when that was a thing? I'm like, whoa! That's in the keynote as well. Back when Google Glass was the thing. Was anyone teaching during that time? You're like, do we get Google Glass? He did. And I remember he was like, do I wear it during the keynote? Like, he just got them. People were like, you gotta wear it. And now it's like so dated. But his slides hold up. And I'm curious to hear from you what part of his keynote presentation holds up or doesn't 12 years later with technology, when in the, when we're talking like AI trends, 2 weeks, things can be completely different. So 12 years later, where does that land? Start with that keynote, read that quick blog post from Jennifer Gonzalez, Cult of Pedagogy, 6 EdTech Tools to Try. A couple of those would be like, yeah, of course. And a couple, you might be like, I don't know about that. Like snorkel, maybe you didn't know about. Might be worth checking out. So, case study, as you look at the rubric, a couple of things are like really obvious when we look at pedagogical framework. Mention SAMR and TPACK, just like make it, hang on, I have a notification blocking me, sorry about that. Just like really overtly be like a slide on SAMR or TPACK. The thing that is easy to miss is 2 citations you probably wouldn't cite them in the way that you will for this class if you had a legit keynote, but you might be like, this journal article talks about this and that, and that's going to give you some street cred for sure. So 2 citations. If you're struggling with what the description is for this, just Google like old ISTE catalogs. That's how I finally got presenting at ISTE, by the way. Pro tip, look at last year's online program, look at session names and session descriptions, read a whole bunch of that, or at this point you can download the PDF and throw it into any sort of generative AI and be like, what is a good description for me? When I was just trying to do stuff that I thought was really cool and engaging, it was like not being accepted, a few years of not being accepted for ISTE presentations, which for me is always like, the highest where the bar goes for being an educator presenting at a conference. And then one year I finally put in like 9 or 15 submissions. I'm like, this is the year I'm going to present at ISTE. And then kind of the last year I got, I guess, burned out on it. I ended up one year presenting 9 times at ISTE. I'm just like, that's too much. And now I'm at the point where like, I love just to talk with people and get you presenting. I'm good. I've presented a lot, unless they ask me a keynote, in which case I've thought through this. I talked a little bit about slide design, and I'm going to just tell you pretty clearly here, less text, more images. If you have placeholders for videos, amazing. Please do not do a whole bunch of bullet points. That is not what good slide design looks like. That's not what keynote presentations look like, or should not look like. Watch his video, you'll look at it and go, okay, got it. Like, kind of just rip off the Adam Bellow style keynote if you're not sure what to do. Make it your own. Maybe you're using like the Noun project, maybe ChatGPT is giving you some imagery of its own. Never ever use watermarked, copywritten images. You don't have permission to use those. Use stuff that you are able to use, make it look good. You're not going to record a 30-minute presentation for me, so again, read those directions carefully. You're going to give like a 2-minute kind of teaser trailer of like, in my session, I will this and that. That's what you're going to be doing in this talk. 2 or 3 minutes for me. Slides also that you submit for me that would fill like a 30-minute keynote, and then follow the rubric, and then you're good to go. Take a look at the rest of the week 8 content, and there's not too much else. Just make sure you get it done on time on that Friday. If you have questions, reach out. The very last thing I have for you is you do have like that reading reflection. Make sure you share that with me, because I need to be able to grade that. That's an easy thing to forget because it doesn't have like a week 8 turn this in thing. You should have shared that with me in week 1. If you're not sure, reshare it right now. I'm going to stop talking in like 10 seconds. Just like hop right to that Google Doc or however you're sharing it. Share it with me so that I'm able to grade those reading reflection submissions. And with that, happy week 8. If you have questions, reach out. Bye-bye.